Hey there guys, Jay the Nerdsquach here for Bearded Bear Entertainment, and we here at the team just wanted to give you a quick update from the WGA and the SAG-AFTRA on what we are allowed to do as entertainment journalists. So, entertainment journalists are not on strike. That means that the WGA and the SAG-AFTRA are not requiring us to stop reviewing movies that are releasing now. We cannot, however, discuss films that are struck, projects that were hit right when the strike's begun, and thus have ceased work and production. Therefore, we can talk about things that are coming out right now, like Haunted Mansion, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like Barbie and Oppenheimer, but we just can't talk about the things that the strike is affecting. That would be considered scabbing. Now, with that, TV broadcasters and journalists are also not on strike and therefore can continue their work. Something that we also know from the WGA and the SAG-AFTRA is that they are not calling for a consumer boycott. That means that you should not cancel your subscription services. Do not cancel your streaming. Do not stop going to the movies. They are asking for our support to show that their jobs are valuable. Go support the writers and the actors in what is releasing now. Hopefully we can help all together to make this a better world for both us and the people we look up to bring us this wonderful content, because without the writers and the actors, film and pop culture is nothing. So we here at Bearded Bear Entertainment fervently support the writers and the actors' right to strike and will continue to support them until they are given fair compensation for their work. Thanks guys, and remember, much love. Stay awesome, stay bearded. I'm out of here.
Autobots, Decepticons, Maximals, Predacons. Doesn't really matter what name you know these by. They're Transformers, the robots in disguise. And they have been in American media since 1984. Comic books, several different cartoon series, a couple of live action movies made by Michael Bay that we talked about during our Michael Bay Exploded My Childhood episode. And now this film, Rise of the Beasts. It's actually surprising how much I was looking forward to this movie, and so were my co-hosts. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Not only Rise of the Beast, but we're going to talk a lot about the Transformers franchise as a whole and what we like about it. So, check your Camaro for an emblem and make sure you don't miss this very important transmission from Cybertron. Season 4, Episode 16, Fandomites, Fandomize. Talking nerdy about Transformers is right after this. Please, stand by.
And you're tuned in
to
the
Holly, that's my line. You're tuned in to the Bear and Beard podcast. Enjoy the show.
Like they're lining up. Well, they're excited.
Dun, dun. What's going on, Fandomites? Fandomize and roll out, or well, no, don't go anywhere. Stay right here, listen to this episode, or watch it for our YouTube viewers.
Don't leave. Don't click away.
Don't leave.
Stay with us now. We're here.
I am sorry for that long-winded introduction, but I am very hyped for this episode. I am the Bear, and joined as always by my majestically bearded, faithful co-host, Beauty Brian Guy, the Beard. Brosius Mayo, my guy.
Mayo Brosius, my dude, feeling transformative today?
Feeling very transformative today. I actually went, I've been wearing my regular glasses for a while. Went back and got my contacts today. We are also joined by our third co-host and the birthday boy supreme today, Jay the Nerdsquach. What's going on, Jay?
I've had a pretty good birthday today, but I'm really excited to talk about one of my favorite franchises. But real quick, I want to point something out you mentioned in the intro, because I wasn't a part of that Michael Bay episode. But if you can tell by my shelving here, I have two very favorite franchises that I've loved since childhood, both of which were exploded by Michael Bay. So, you know, I've suffered a long time for this movie. Finally, we're at a point where both of those franchises are very, very good and very successful. So
we're getting the point now where our message to Bay is stick with action movies.
yeah,
Stick with Bad Boys. Stick with movies like The Rock and stuff like that. Just leave our childhoods alone. I don't feel like that's necessary for you to delve into that, Mr. Bay. We like your films, just not the ones where you blew up.
I loved the first Transformers.
First Transformers is great.
First Transformers was amazing.
Movie I really loved.
Yeah.
Second one I thought was all right. Third one didn't really.
By the
that
third
much.
one, you start
And
losing me.
I don't even remember the whole story of the other ones. I know I watched one where Mark Wahlberg shows up.
That was the
Marky
fourth
Mark.
one.
Hey, Marky. Yeah.
That was the fourth one. That was the one where that's where they found the Dinobots, or the Dinobots were on the ship. They weren't actually on Earth like they were supposed to be the whole time, because that's kind of the whole thing about the Dinobots is they've been on Earth longer, or as long, whatever. They changed the story so much.
It's
I would put Bumblebee and this movie both over the first Transformers movie, though.
Yeah, agreed.
I think this soft reboot was the greatest decision they made for this franchise.
absolutely it was.
I say soft reboot. Optimus Prime was not on Earth in the 90s in the original timeline, so this is something new. It is. It's
Right.
not that soft.
Well, I mean, the only way they could reboot it harder is to give us the Ark storyline. Give us the Ark crashed back in prehistoric times, and when the fault line shifted, the thing sent out the scanner and activated the Dinobots, and then they went into hiding. And then, many, many years later, the volcano where the Ark crashed erupt. Like, I'm giving you a brief overview, listener or viewer, of the original Transformers story if you don't know it. Because they fled from Cybertron. They crash landed into Earth, which also coming to today's main topic of the Rise of the Beast movie. They changed that storyline as well, because the Beast Wars television show, which granted the CGI does not stand up to the test of time. If you go back and watch it now, your eyes might hurt like mine do right now. But the story is immaculate. The story is amazing. The voice acting cast they got for that show, and granted the CGI might not be great to today's standards, but back then it was revolutionary.
We've interviewed someone from Beast Wars.
Yes, Mr. David Kaye, the original Megatron from Beast Wars.
Yes. I like you.
So he was a great interview, phenomenal person. Yeah. But so the Beast Wars story was that they crash landed on Earth as well.
But they're the descendants.
But they're from the future of Cyber. Like, they went through a time thing instead of just space.
Yes.
So
the time warp again.
Exactly. That's essentially what it was. But it was also this weird alter Earth. Like, it wasn't just Earth, because Optimus, like in that show, Optimus is dead. They find Optimus's carcass, essentially. And he's dead, and he's the only Transformer there. Like, there's no remnants of the rest of Megatron or anybody like that. And then that even spun off a sequel series that didn't last nearly as long, called Beast Machines. CGI was a little bit better. Storyline was a little bit lacking for my personal taste. Really? I did like the idea of the Bat, though. The Bat guy from Beast Machines was pretty cool. So, but all of that in retrospective now, I have been a huge, huge fan of Transformers since I was little. I still have my original Optimus Prime Transformer toy. He is in there on a belt somewhere. Would you say that
Optimus Prime is your favorite Transformer?
I would not say that, actually.
You would not. I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
There is a version of Optimus that I like more, and his name is Leo Prime. He's from a kind of Beast Wars-esque cartoon that they did. It was a animal Transformers thing, but when they transform, they look way more like robots. And he is Leo Prime, and he has the same color coding as Optimus.
Was that Armando? What was that?
It was one of the Energon Armada series that they did.
It was after Beast Wars.
Yeah. Dude,
Okay.
when I tell you Transformers has been around for so long and gone through so many different iterations, it's probably like if it had one concurrent running show that they just did, like here's a season of this, here's a season of this, it would be the longest running cartoon of all time, more than likely, like even longer than The Simpsons. It's been on the TV since the 80s. It's just gone through so many reboots, even in the shows, where it's like, okay, but it's kind of the same story. The video games are amazing. If you can get a copy of War of Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron, I think they're available.
They are
on
gorgeous.
backwards compatibility. They are amazing.
I remember once upon a time I played this. It was a free-to-play multiplayer Transformers kind of battle game, like a team deathmatch type thing.
Oh yeah, I played that as well. I can't remember the name of it, but it was based around the movies. I think it was based around the second film that Michael Bay did. If we're talking about the same one, because it had the.
I don't think so, because mine didn't have any of the original characters. It was like an individual looking kind of Autobot. Or
okay.
You kind of created your own, but it looked very generic.
Oh, that's cool.
I have a Transformers OC. Yep.
Yep. What is y'all's favorite Transformer from
So, I have always been I love Camaros.
Okay.
I just love Camaros.
Fair.
And so from the first moment I ever saw Bumblebee was always my favorite.
Bumblebee
Every single movie he's in. Like
amazing.
when he died in this movie, I was mad.
When he died. Dude, I was okay. Can I tell you, I was
in the moment before he comes
sidelined my
back.
boy for like 75% of the movie. They sidelined my boy and just had him like just
unacceptable.
Just I was like, you took the stinger out the bee, man. Why'd you do that?
The character that brought you back to life, and you sideline him. Yep.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
They wanted us to feel like, hey, any character could die, but also the character that just died, we're bringing it back. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Because he makes us money.
And also, they had to have a spotlight for Mirage because
Yeah.
he was the one. Because he was the connector
Mirage
to
was
the
fucking
humans this time. Like, it wasn't Bumblebee this time. It was Mirage. Mirage connected with Noah, and that just kind of became the thing. Pete Davidson did an amazing job,
I
by the
love
way.
Pete Davidson. Yeah.
He was
That
amazing.
was Pete Davidson?
That was Pete Davidson, 100%.
I-
Like, they even
I'm
make,
finding this out just this second.
he even
I
makes
did
the
not know
Marky
that.
Mark joke, which was hilarious.
I kind of feel like they could have done the same thing with RC though. They could have made RC the lead
They could've.
Transformer.
Yeah.
I love
But
how
I mean,
Prime
Noah
was
getting
different
on a
in this
motorcycle
movie.
to steal it was a lot less likely, I suppose.
Oh yeah, but that beautiful car. Yeah, that Porsche. That's a different story. I agree.
In other movies, Prime is like always giving the benefit of the
Yeah.
doubt to humans. He's like, and in this, he's like, fuck these humans. Fuck this place.
Yeah.
Fuck all of them.
It's more. Yeah, it's a really brilliant narrative on how fear.
I am tired. I want to go
Just like
home.
Yeah.
This scene comes to mind.
Not cool. Who are you, human?
I'm nobody. I ain't even seen nothing. I'm not even seeing anything right now.
I didn't see nothing. I ain't seeing nothing right now. Like, dude.
Can I just say, I love the scaling in Bumblebee and this movie so much better than the scaling in the Michael Bay movies. They are too damn big in those movies.
Yep.
I really like how they feel super G1 size.
Yeah, because
They
when
look
they-
like what you would think a car would look like
Right.
if it transformed into a big robot.
It
like-
doesn't have muscle tone. It's blocky. They aren't
Like, it never made
supposed-
sense to me why Bumblebee can drive down the street looking like a Camaro, and when he stands up, he's taller than the Witwicky house.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why?
No,
So
damn.
that scaling was just, it wasn't great.
It's atrocious.
In
Yeah.
what world is a Camaro the size of a freaking house?
Jay, I do want to get to your favorite Transformer, but while we're talking about voices, Scourge, Peter Dinklage. Dude, when I tell you I didn't recognize it at first, and then I looked it up and I'm like, It's my boy. It's my boy from Game of Thrones.
It's Tyrion, baby.
Can we also respect the fact that in this movie we didn't need Starscream and Megatron?
Okay, leave them
I'm
alone.
not
They're
a
my
Transformers
baby.
fan the way you guys are, so I don't know all the lore and all the other characters. These live action movies are my main sense of lore. And I knew that there had to be more villains than
There are.
Starscream and
There
Megatron.
are, but he is the only one that matters.
Starscream is the only one that matters.
I'm kidding.
I am so glad we had a movie without him whining
Yes.
a little bit.
Yes, me too. But I will say, I am aching to see what Megatron looks like in this timeline.
Yes. Oh,
Like-
100%.
Like, please, just let me see the G1 Megatron look in a movie, and then I'll be able to die happy. I'll be fine.
It'd be fine. So, would you say that Starscream is your favorite Transformer then? So we can bring that full
so
circle.
that's a difficult question though, because you got all these different factions, right?
Mhm.
You can't pick one overall. So Decepticons, yes, Starscream is my favorite.
Okay.
Autobots.
Autobots, I'm a really big fan of Ultra Magnus.
Yes.
Yeah,
Tell me
Yes.
what this is.
I love Ultra
Teach
Magnus.
me. Learn me something.
Okay, Ultra Magnus was a lieutenant, right? He was second in command to Optimus Prime for a very long time in the original comics and cartoon. And in the movie, when Optimus died and broke everybody's hearts, Magnus was selected to take the arc of leadership, but it eventually led to Hot Rod getting it.
Mhm.
But so Magnus he was a very reluctant leader. He didn't think he was ready. He was very harsh on himself. I personally think, in I believe it's Dark of the Moon with Sentinel Prime. Is that right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That should have been Ultra Magnus.
Yeah, it should have been.
Because
100%.
I really like the idea of him being second in command for a long time and then being like a Starscream for Optimus Prime.
Right.
So, but yeah, Ultra Magnus and Starscream, and then for Beast Wars, Megatron and Cheetor all the way.
Cheetor, especially Cheetor, I didn't even give a favorite Maximal. Mine's Rat Trap, though. Like,
We're all gonna
100%.
die.
Rat Trap, he's
We're all
amazing.
gonna die.
But no, and Cheetor being the first one to go feral in that show too was pretty cool. But yeah, no, there's actually a storyline talking about Ultra Magnus. There's a storyline where he was in line to be the Prime first, and the Matrix chose Optimus and not Ultra, and he was very salty. Like, as salty as a robot can be if he's been dipped in the fucking ocean without rusting. So, he was super salty. But yeah, no, Ultra Magnus is a great pick too.
I have a question for both of you for this
Sure.
movie. What was so the whole point of Transformers is they transform.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, we had to have some awesome transforming scenes. What was each of your favorite transformation in this movie? Like the scene that you were like, that was badass. I could watch that 10 times with different songs in the background and just love it even more each time.
I'm torn between two. When Optimus first transformed, like when he's rolling into the lot and he's doing his and then the throwing of the pipe, dude. Like, exactly. I'm torn between that one, and it wasn't technically a transformation. I mean, it was, but it wasn't a transformer doing it. It was when Mirage was giving his pieces to Noah to create the mech suit.
The 80s exosuit.
Yeah, the 80s exosuit. That was a great transformation because the pieces start falling off and they start combining to Noah to make the suit. And it wasn't really a transformation as much as it was an assembly scene, but it was Mirage transforming to that final stage, giving his sacrifice, and it was very well done.
I was going to ask you guys about that because I'd never seen anything like that in a Transformers movie before, and the first thing I thought is, if there's no lore to this, people are going to eat this alive. And so I was going to ask you guys, is there lore to it? So that's good to know.
Yes.
There absolutely is.
I was actually more upset that they didn't put it into the Michael Bay films.
Yeah.
Like, because, dude,
Mark Wahlberg.
I love Shia. To
The
death.
Wikis are
But
the
he
ones
got
who
hurt
use-
a lot, and they could have protected it with that suit.
Yes, and the Wikis are the people who use those exosuits in the 80s cartoon.
Right.
Sparkplug
I was
and
more
Spike
upset that they didn't
used
put
those
it in theirs than I could have ever been that they did in this one. So,
Yep,
I love
exactly.
it. I love it so much.
I don't know about this one per se, but I will, and I don't know about transformation scenes. I don't always really pay attention to that. I'm more of an action scene kind of person, like set pieces. And my favorite of the entire franchise will always go to the opening scene of Bumblebee, where we're on Cybertron and everybody looks like they're ripped straight out of the original comics.
Yes.
It is peak. It is so good. And
because
they
even
went through-
on Cybertron, they had a vehicle mode and a robot mode.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
but they were more like space, like vehicles. They were very
Tetrajets
futuristic concepts, not like our cars today.
Kind of like in that video game that I played, the multiplayer one where they were battling back and forth. That's kind of the look it was.
Look at War for
Cybertron was a good one for that. Also, Fall of Cybertron. Heck, the way they do it on the Netflix series where they rebooted, the way they do it on there too. The voice acting was slacking for me.
Yeah, okay, so here's my thing about it. The toy line that accompanied it, that's all these are back here, is like the Kingdom and the War for Cybertron and the Fall of Cybertron. Those were great. And Earthrise, the show, I couldn't get into it. I despised the CG animation, and the voice acting was just not great.
I was missing Peter. That's all it was.
Where the fuck is Peter Cullen?
Where was Peter Cullen? How dare you have an Optimus that's not Peter Cullen?
Now, I will say...
Or David, because he's played Optimus before, too.
Yeah. Now, I gotta say, this movie that's coming out with this... I don't know if you've heard about it, but the animated movie with Chris Hemsworth?
I haven't heard about it.
So, it is a prequel set on Cybertron about the origins of Megatron and Optimus.
Ooh.
And Chris Hemsworth is Optimus. And Brian Tyree Henry is Megatron. And I literally cannot wait. He's fastest from the Eternals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I cannot wait. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm intrigued because I mean, I have this tattoo. I'm an Autobot. Okay. That right there for our viewers that you can see, I'm pointing at. That is a Autobot holder for the Covenant of Primus, which I've read cover to cover. It is not just the origin of the Autobots and Decepticons, it is the origin of Cybertron itself. The whole race of Cybertronians, the original Primes. There were 7. And they kind of got that right in Revenge of the Fallen, but not really. So to see a prequel would be amazing.
Yeah. I want to see all of it, like not Omega Supreme, but who was there? What is his name? Optimus and Megatron's mentor. It is on the tip of my tongue. And he's got like the Fu Manchu mustache and all of that going on. I can't think of his name. I'm so mad. But I want to see that specifically.
Yeah, that would be great.
And more about what made Megatron more inclined to dictatorship and to force as opposed to freedom.
And they explore that very well in the video game, especially War for Cybertron, because it's like, hey, look, he started out just like everybody else. Like, he was a leader on Cybertron, and he just got too much power.
Yeah, remember politicians before all of this.
Yeah.
And now it's a war. But they were all like high class, uppity politician people. Starscream was a senator. I mean, it was a race like ours before they split apart. It's almost like we need to take notes from it, but whatever.
Yeah. Like,
Humans aren't so great at that learning stuff.
I know. I have learned.
But yeah, no, this and this film was a great culmination of all of that. Like everything that's come before it has been great. But this movie was and I cannot talk enough about the cast. Ron Perlman coming in as Optimus Primal was a spot-on casting. Like, I didn't know how I was going to feel about it. I love Ron Perlman. I love Optimus Primal. So I figured I'd like it, but I wasn't 100% sure until I heard him talk. And just the way they had the movements of the mouths and stuff like that, which I wasn't a huge fan of in the Michael Bay films, but it seems like they've tweaked it. Like, at least a CGI a little bit. And they also made Optimus not have to have his mouth out a lot, which I love.
But they still gave him a mouth.
They still gave him a mouth.
I was like, he did so good without it in Bumblebee. You didn't have to give him one. I will say, didn't Ron Perlman play Primal in Armada too?
He might have.
I think he's done it before. I'm pretty sure he's like it's his second time, and he is great. He is so good. We're going to be in the same building as him in 2 weeks.
Yep. It's gonna be a blast. I need to go and talk to him about this specifically, like, because everyone knows him from Sons of Anarchy, and even some people know him from his bit role in Pacific Rim and Hellboy and stuff like that. But and just while we're talking about events coming up, Alabama Comic-Con 2 weeks from recording, Doug Jones is also going to be there, so you're going to have Hellboy and Abe are both going to be there.
Oh, they're definitely going to do a panel, aren't they?
They got to.
I hope so. I love Doug Jones.
I don't see why they would be in the same building and wouldn't do something together. Or at least a photo shoot together.
Yeah, like, or at least a photo op. That'd be great. The only person they're missing from Hellboy at that point is Firestarter. So you really kind of need her in there too. But anyway, yeah, that's our next major event. We can't wait. So, but
I said Guillermo del Toro, so I can meet him.
Well, yeah.
I love him. He's my favorite.
But yeah, talking about this film specifically, I finally figured out while I was watching this movie the main issue I've had with all the Transformers movies. And I talked with y'all a little bit about it, but y'all tell me what y'all think. And listeners, if I'm wrong on this, y'all feel free to chime in. We're going to have a talk about segment. So, why we have this awesome comic book turned cartoon where the main struggle in every 20-minute episode is the Decepticons are trying to get Energon out of this one thing, and if we don't stop them, they're going to hurt people. That's great. That's why we watch the cartoon. Why is every movie, if we don't solve this problem, the world's going to end? It's like you're setting it up.
Men in Black.
Okay. Now, I want everyone to travel back with me a little bit. Travel back in time. Let's remember, what was the first movie that we've had in mainstream media where the bad guys actually lose at the end of the movie? Or the good guys actually lose at the end of the movie?
Infinity War.
It was Infinity War. It never happened before that. And we knew there was a part 2. We knew that it wasn't going to, it wasn't going to stay that way. But at the end of that film, no one was sure. No one was certain. We knew people were going to die. We didn't know who was coming back. We didn't know how they were coming back. So we were left kind of, especially for that long duration between Infinity War and Endgame. So with that being said, the formula is already there. We know the good guys are going to win. The bad guys can't win. So why make the stakes so high for every Transformers film there has been? Every one.
This goes even beyond Transformers, though. For all movies, the world's ending doesn't need to be the stakes. Make personal stakes for each of the characters. They have a personal stake in this, something that matters to them. That's how you make a good movie.
I mean, and don't get me wrong.
I think
Marvel's,
that's why I love the Disney Plus movies. I think
Yeah.
that's what other people don't like about the Disney Plus shows. They are personal stakes for each character, and each of those stakes makes sense for
Yes.
that character, and they justify those stakes. And it's not always the world is ending.
Yep.
like I can name on one hand probably the number of and there's a lot of MCU films, so I might be wrong. But I can name on one hand how many actually had a world-ending, like, kind of connotation. Go with
All the Avengers movies.
Well, yeah, all the Avengers. So you got Avengers 1, you got Civil War wasn't really no, that was a Captain America movie. So Avengers 1 and Age of Ultron, yes, definitely. World-ending consequences. Doctor Strange, because the Dark Dimension was encroaching. Okay, I'll give you that. Thor Dark World? Kind of. But the whole 9 realms were in misbalance. The elves should have never gotten to Earth. So that was different. But Ragnarok, Asgard. Guardians 2, yeah.
Because he plants his seed on Earth, and if Peter didn't stop him, it would have taken over the planet.
But that's really about it.
I know, yeah. Well,
and that's out of 20-something movies.
And some of them were like the world would be ruled. I'd even say the first one wasn't even the world was going to end. The world wasn't going to be nice.
Yeah, if the Chitauri had finished their invasion and Loki had not been stopped, Loki would have just become ruler of the world. But Ultron wanted to wipe the planet clean, so that's definitely world-ending.
Yes.
Doctor Strange, Dark Dimension, same thing. It would have caused an incursion. Multiverse of Madness also maybe because there could have been an incursion due to Scarlet Witch, but really she was the main villain and all she wanted was her kids, so you really can't say that. Like the possibility of an incursion, yes, but we've seen more world-ending things from What If than we've seen from the MCU.
Right, exactly.
I would say that it's different based upon if the hero's goal is to stop the world from ending or is the hero's goal something else, because that matters too. In Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange's mission is not to protect the world from an incursion. His mission is to protect this girl from an insane witch who can
make
do
sure
no
that
wrong.
Pizza Papa gets paid. That's Pizza Papa's got to get paid. They're even the Spider. I'm trying to think about the Spider-Man movies. Mysterio wasn't gonna rule. He might have ruled the world. He wouldn't have ended it. Vulture definitely wasn't gonna take over anything. He was just trying to be a bad guy. Even No Way Home, that was technically Peter's fault, and the world wouldn't have ended.
I still say that was Doctor Strange's fault.
Well, yeah, also
not knowing how to manage a child.
But the when you look at all the Captain America movies, there's no world-ending thing. There's tyrants, yes. Thor, same thing. But never a world-ending thing. DC. We
don't need to talk about that.
Look, I'll just say that all of their movies have some sort of world-altering storyline. Like Aquaman, if what's his name becomes the ruler of Atlantis, he's gonna fucking kick humans into their place. So Snyder cut and
even
cut.
Fucking Suicide Squad had a world-ending event. What the fuck?
Both Suicide Squads had a world-ending event.
I don't think Starro necessarily was though.
I think if he'd have gotten loose, he would have been a real big problem.
That's true. Okay, that's true.
It would have just left Starro in space in peace.
Right.
It's their own fault.
Right, exactly. I think Shang-Chi's superpower is how intimate and personal it is. It is about a family, and nothing would have altered the rest of the world if Wenwu had won. Because Wenwu had been ruling his syndicate for thousands of years.
Yep.
It wouldn't have changed a damn thing. And I love that. I adore it. I'm sorry about Benny.
Oh, you're fine. Benny's fine. No, but yeah, Shang-Chi, the thing with Shang-Chi is, other than that dark demon thing getting out, but we don't know what the repercussions would have been of that. Yeah.
It wouldn't have affected us at all.
Right. So
Yeah.
I mean, you're solid there. It's
good.
one of those things. This is fine. This is fine. You know. And so back to Transformers. Back to Transformers. First one. All right. If the Allspark is taken by Megatron, Megatron's going to use it to essentially wipe Earth, off the map,
Right.
and turn it into Cybertron. That was the original underplot or whatever.
The Decepticons are always after something that's going to destroy the Autobots and humanity forever.
Revenge of the
You've
Fallen
never faced a threat like this before.
Right.
Every time. You've never faced a threat like this before. And this movie's guilty of that too. There's always that you've never faced anything like this. The last 5 movies he did, okay?
Okay, but if this is a soft reboot, then technically Optimus has not faced anything like this before.
This is the first time you've had to fuck with this shit on Earth before. So here you go.
So because the second one was the story was what the Fallen wanted to activate the pyramid to extinguish Earth's sun. And that would have ended our planet. Fuck us, right? Third one, Dark of the Moon. There's a hidden force on the other side of the moon, and it could really cause some Earth-altering things if it gets loose. Fourth one, Galvatron's back, and he's gonna take over the planet with his whole line of transformative, whatever they called the metal. I can't even remember what they called the metal. I so don't care about that movie. And then the fifth one. Now the fifth one might not have had world-ending, changing possibilities, but the sheer fact that they had to go with, there's been Transformers here since medieval times. I'm already out. I'm out. I'm so out. I cannot be even further out. So, and this movie, you're right, is a little guilty of that. But again, if this is a soft reboot, then no, Optimus hasn't had to face anything like this. But the world-ending part of it I'm sorry. The fifth movie was Cybertron was going to encroach upon Earth and take over its space in planetary seating. That was the plot of the fifth movie.
What were they thinking, bro?
I don't know.
Were they not thinking?
They weren't sticking to the source material, which is another episode that we did way back when. So you should go check that out. We really probably should sit down and rehash some of those old topics too.
I wonder if the dollar amounts just increasingly just kind of went down for opening releases for Transformers movies because people were just tired of being let down, and then Bumblebee comes in
and then
gets people excited again, and you're like, okay, maybe we should go see a Transformers movie, and then this one slaps. It just slaps.
If you'd have told
me, can we talk about the soundtrack,
dude? The best.
I don't remember any of the songs off the top of my head, but every single time a song played, I was like, yes,
best soundtrack since Revenge of the Fallen, where Linkin Park, rest in peace, Chester, did New Divide specifically for that soundtrack, and then they released it on their album later with a music video filmed on set. They had the Cybertronian set from Revenge of the Fallen as their music video set. It was amazing. So definitely great soundtrack. And if you'd have told me 5 years ago I was gonna be excited for a Transformers movie, I'd have called you a liar. I'd have been like, there's no way, especially if Michael Bay has anything to do with it. Well, I'm out, man.
I'm joining the conversation randomly, but he didn't really do anything.
He had a producer credit because they had to use the Transformer things that he already set in place. So other than that, you're right. He really didn't do anything.
Just like Zack Snyder on all of those DC movies, he didn't have a thing to do with.
Right. But everyone wants to restore the Snyderverse. It's like, is it really the Snyderverse though? Is it really?
His name was on it because he created the initial concept.
I'm excited for the Gunverse. That's all I'm saying. Give me the Gunverse.
DCU, come on. Yep. Absolutely. Sorry, guys. There was a lot going on.
Our favorite, I want to call him a critic, Ryan George. He did the...
He's kind of a critic. Yeah, I'll give you critic.
He does it in a comedic way, but it is a critique on the films. He brings up critiques in a comedic way.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things he brought up, the final battle, They ripped it straight out of Endgame.
Yep.
Big, dark, gloomy battlefield. A lot of nameless soldiers to throw at each other. That way we can have a big, huge action sequence.
And the military didn't see this at all.
Right? Well, I guess that's why you had to
happened
send it
on
out
Earth.
of the U.S. because there's no way that the United States military would have let it go.
Exactly.
But we did find out in that awesome end credit scene-esque kind of last sequence that some version of military knew exactly what Noah was up to.
I'm feral. Like, I'm a G.I. Joe nut. Like, I'm excited. I am so hyped.
I can't wait.
It's been
I was a fan
since
of
I've
the
gotten
two
into G.I.
films
Joe.
that came out.
I loved them when they came out, but I have not seen them since I was like in, I want to say middle school, early high school. It's been a long time since I've seen those G.I. Joe movies. But I had a bunch of G.I. Joes when I was a kid.
With the Kung Fu grip!
I knew nothing about that, but I made them beat up my superhero action figures. Like, they were just another action figure to me.
Barbie's
Other than
boyfriend wasn't Ken, it was G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Well,
That's how it went in
Justin
my-
and I would use our G.I. Joes when our sister Skylar would use her Barbie. And yeah. Well, actually, I don't think she had a Barbie, but she had a Barbie type kind of doll.
Right.
Might as well been a Barbie.
I love the crossover initiative of it too, because bringing G.I. Joe into the Transformer verse and building that like, okay, I know that we say this all the time, but not everything has to connect. But the fact that they're building this universe with this film where Transformers exist in the same realm as G.I. Joe, we could get He-Man travels through time. We could get the Thundercats. Come on. Like, that's all.
Wait, Thundercats happens in the same universe as Transformers?
Oh, no.
Kind of technically, kind of maybe. We don't know.
Hasbro owns all of it.
Hasbro owns all of it. So if you're building a Hasbro verse.
Mattel, aren't they? No, Masters of the Universe is Mattel.
Yeah, Masters.
Thundercats was Hasbro. See, you talk about G.I. Joe and Transformers. This right here is my favorite version of Megatron, is the G.I. Joe Megatron.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, and you could easily do it. It would not be anything to say, let's build a Hasbro verse.
Yes.
Let's build a Hasbro movie verse where every once in a while they coincide, they mention each other, things like that. Kind of like, we do with our podcast. Shout out to Hesitation Station. But it really can, because, and this isn't the first time the Transformers has crossed over. So in the comics, a little fun fact for y'all, if you don't already know this, there's a Marvel crossover.
The Transformers are
with
Marvel
Transformers.
comics.
The original first person to ever interact with the Transformers, with the Autobots specifically, was Black Suit Spider-Man in one of his first appearances way back when that storyline was first coming out in Marvel Comics. He actually teams up with the Autobots to stop Megatron from teaming up with, I think it was a Hydra cell or something like that. Or there was some like I said earlier, in that like one comic book, the one main problem was Megatron's up to no good. Let's go stop him or he's going to hurt people. Right. But Spider-Man finds out about it and comes in his black suit and helps the Autobots take out Megatron. And it was amazing. I've read the comic. It was so good.
Do we think this is possible? Do we think that this could be a thing that is going to be a thing? That
I think Disney would have to buy Hasbro.
No, because I would like this to
Hasbro
happen
makes Marvel's
in.
toys.
That's true.
I would like this to happen in collaboration. No buying of properties.
Like the Spider-Man movies with Sony. That'd be great. Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Put Tom Holland on the screen with Peter Cullen's Optimus. I want to see it so bad. They're both red and blue.
Optimus tap the screen. This guy.
I will say, a lot of people don't know this, but the Transformers, when they were introduced in our country under comic books, were published by Marvel.
Yes.
They were Marvel comic books. I mean, there is a basis for this. I wish it would happen, but at the same time, do I?
I think we'd be getting our hopes really, really high up there. And
I like the toy crossovers.
The toy crossovers are great. I have some of the Marvel Transformers. I have
some
Captain America, Iron Man, Tony Stark, and Venom. Venom's a muscle car.
I had that Iron Man.
Was there a Hulk?
There was a Hulk. He was a tank. I don't have him, but there was one.
I love that.
I had that Iron.
There were actually two. They did a gray one and a green one. So you had a gray version, the gray version of Hulk, his original color scheme, and then you had the green one. And yeah, they released that. They released Thor. Thor was like a bomber jet.
Yeah.
Ghost Rider was a motorcycle. I think Daredevil was a motorcycle too. Carnage was a muscle car. Like they released several of them. They've done it with Star Wars as well. Star Wars had a Transformers crossover.
Star Wars ones. I had the Millennium Falcon. Half of it was Han, and half
was Han, and half was Chewie.
Yeah.
I had the Republic gunship that would turn into a dreadnought, the Imperial cruiser, and whichever form you chose, if you transformed it from that form, it would become either Anakin or Darth Vader.
Oh,
but I wanted the Death Star that became Darth Vader. I still want it to this day.
There is an outlet mall, not an outlet mall, a vintage mart down here that has two Darth Vader halves, and it pisses me off. I want a Darth Vader half and a Palpatine half. Let me put them together, damn it.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Dude, like if I ever win that lottery that me and Beard don't play, I won't tell anybody, but there will be signs.
Star Wars
I will be in a much nicer recording area with a lot of memorabilia around me that I can't afford.
Exactly.
Not just my posters and my pops.
Yeah.
I will have a car that is painted TARDIS blue.
Yes.
There's a car in our apartment complex whose license plate is TARDIS, and I love it.
I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of that individual. All right, back to the movie here. So we talked about the voice actors. We talked about the whole world-ending blah blah blah. Whatever. Let's talk about the humans for a minute.
Can I say something really quickly?
Yeah, go ahead.
I hate to keep interrupting, but I didn't really get to say anything about my favorite voice acting part.
Oh yes, please.
I am a huge fan of what Orson Welles did in the Transformers the movie as Unicron. He's great. He's stellar. But Coleman Domingo, as brief as he is in this movie, I cannot wait for more of this Unicron.
What, all of 3 lines, I think?
I know, right?
3 or 4 lines, and it just had me shuddering. I'm like, oh no.
Like, oh my god, it's Unicron! I'm so excited. Yeah. That one.
I also, talking about Unicron, I love the fact that they left it open that he's not dead. He's just not able to get to Earth yet. Like they literally said, for now, he is out in space with no way here.
They'll probably fight him in space.
Oh, for sure.
Like they did back in the day.
Yeah. It had to be a space. And to see him fully transform will be immaculate. That would be great.
I can't wait. Yeah. They're doing something special. Yeah.
One of the biggest Transformer toys next to Omega Complex.
Have you seen the War for Cybertron one that's 2.5 feet tall?
Right?
I'm just like, how? How did you even do this? Yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
You said what's the line from Jurassic Park? Scientists were so worried about whether they could, they didn't stop to think whether they should.
Yep, that's the House Lab in a nutshell. Yep.
So bringing it back to the human factor for Transformers, which
Noah,
we've talked about this in a few different episodes. Like when we talked about Sonic, we talked about how we didn't need so much of the human story because it's supposed to be about Sonic.
I want to tell you right now,
our show or on the Knights of the Nerds table. Shout out to you guys.
Hey, I love those guys.
But I loved the human element in the
human element is what
the over sexualization of Megan Fox we had to worry about anymore. That she was in those first 2 movies for eye candy purposes only. You cannot tell me she was not.
And then they did it to Ninja Turtles.
And then they did it to Ninja Turtles.
They did it to Ninja Turtles. They did it twice. How do you do it twice and get away?
Because Bay is the way.
But like, there are so many other actresses who just fit the April O'Neil. She's not a supermodel, people. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna rant about turtles.
That's Dakota Fanning. You could have gotten Dakota Fanning to be fucking April O'Neil.
If they do another live action movie, they better cast Maya Hawke from Stranger Things.
Oh yeah,
great.
For sure.
Yep.
Done deal. No.
Yep, I would be sold. Yep. Okay. So, back to the topic. Sorry.
What was your favorite thing though, Brian? Because you brought him up first. What was your favorite thing about Noah?
So my favorite thing about Noah is the fact that he's just the kind of guy whose actor is Anthony Ramos.
Exactly.
As soon as I saw him in the trailer, I was already knowing I was going to
be you for a minute. Like, we just need you to come over here and be you for a minute. That's all we need. Come here. Come here.
I first loved him as, well, he's actually two characters in Hamilton.
That's Philip Hamilton, baby. John Lawrence.
Philip Hamilton and John Lawrence. And then I also loved him in The Heights, another Lin-Manuel Miranda. Amazing experience.
Such a good movie.
It had Lin-Manuel Miranda music on the soundtrack.
I wonder. I'd have to look. It would not surprise me. Lin has gotten involved in pretty much everything music, and I'm loving it. The Little Mermaid, by the way.
Little Mermaid, baby. Little Mermaid. Exactly.
He got Daveed Diggs in there, and I loved it.
I ordered a new bag this week that has Ariel on it, and that movie is so good. Lin-Manuel is the only person that could have. I told my mom this. I was like, Howard Ashman was great, but Alan Menken and Lin-Manuel Miranda really sold me on this one. I need more. Yep, it's a great movie. I know
Melissa McCarthy, she ate that song.
No crumbs. No crumbs. Oh, so good. So
I really need to sit down and watch. We need to do an episode about that. Like, I think we should do it specific. And viewer, listener, tell us what you think about this. Maybe we talk about all of the live action Disney reboots.
Disney's in its 100th year.
Like, since they started back with, what was the first one? The first one was
Maleficent.
We could talk all the way back.
Dalmatians. With Glenn Close. Sorry.
No, yeah, there was. It's hard to keep track of how many they've done.
I think it started with Dalmatians. I know I keep talking over. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. We talk about all of them. 101 Dalmatians, 102 Dalmatians. If we've seen them, we talk about them, and then we could also, because I know Jay's excited for this. We've done a fan casting the live action House of Mouse before. I want to do that again. So that would be a good lead in. Like, we'll recap like what they've come out with so far. Because a lot of them have some controversy around them. Some people didn't like Beauty and the Beast. They didn't think Emma Watson could have been Belle. I loved that film 100%.
I love the movie. I don't love her movie.
Aladdin is one of those like, well, you wanted a frame by frame. We gave you a frame by frame.
Lion King.
Oh,
people want to hate on it, but it is literally frame by frame, and the music is good. Is it weird to see real looking lions do these things? Yeah, it's freaking weird. But guess what? This is what they promised us, and this is what we got. And as a Lion King fan, I enjoyed it.
My only problem with it is that when Jon Favreau did the Jungle Book 4 years beforehand, those animals had smiles and were animated and had life, and didn't do that with the Lion King.
About that too. You can never make everyone happy. There's always different groups of people who are like, well, you should have done that. You should have done that. And
I also love the fact that the main complaint is the hyper-realistic animals. It's like, yes, guess what? Meerkats don't hang out with warthogs. It doesn't happen. So,
warthogs don't eat bugs as their main diet. It's a
Lions don't sing in the middle of a forest dancing around. Like this doesn't happen.
Lions don't get jiggy by a waterfall.
Like Troy and
I mean, they might.
And I'm pretty sure lions also don't command the respect of hyenas. So
No, I'm pretty sure I've seen a hyena tear the crap out of a lion before.
yeah, so
Like, you know, it's fantasy. But yes, a Disney episode would be great.
yeah, we got to do that.
This year's Disney 100.
Sticking to the source material is important a lot of the times. I feel like Rise of the Beast did that in a way. They changed the Beast Wars storyline essentially for the Maximals, but we got a lot of great performances out of the original cast. Rat Trap was missing. I was missing him. He was missed. Dinobot too. But maybe in the future, because they're still on Earth. They're all still stuck there. The Autobots and the Maximals. The human element of the Maximals being the ones to bring Optimus around to, hey, you know, this is their planet. We can protect them. We can coexist. Was very, very well done to me as well. Because like you said, Brian, before that, he was done. He was done with humanity. He was out.
Like, screw these guys. They got nothing for me. I don't want them to know about me. I don't want to know about them. I don't want... They're little ants. They're annoying.
Yeah.
Why do you bring one of these things here?
I just want to go home.
Humans.
Right.
He just manhandles him. I love that.
Manhandles him. Straight up.
Optimus Prime in the first Transformers movie would have never done that to Sam Witwicky.
Oh, for sure not.
He was like all respectful to him. We are noble warriors. Like he's all noble to him. Two different Optimuses, 100%.
100% two different Optimuses, but both played by the same great Peter Cullen. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to more coming from them. I loved all the actors, the voice actors and the human actors. They all did very well. The female counterpart to Noah, I cannot remember her name, but such a good story for her. Like she's just trying to do the come up. She's really smart, but she's working at a dead end job at the museum. She wants to do more, and she does more. She did. It was amazing, and you didn't have to over dramatize. Like you didn't have to make them love each other. Like take notes. That's how it was in the original 80s comics. Michael Bay, the two male and female humans that hung out with the Autobots, they weren't a thing. They were just the human counterparts to the Autobots.
Men and women can be friends. Let's repeat this. Men and women can be friends.
They can be friends. So, anything else on this awesome movie, this awesome franchise? Any other questions you'd like to pick our Transformer brains about, Brian?
I feel like I'm chock full of new knowledge.
I know you already had asked us about Scourge, and I love when you told me Scourge was the villain, I was like, no way. Like, the collector of emblems? Let's go.
I would just like to brag a little bit because not only did I get to see this movie with my family, I got to see this movie with my family at a drive-in movie theater.
Ooh, classic.
Seeing a Transformers movie in a drive-in, that's just kind of meta.
Yeah. Now they need to put that scene where all the Autobots are gone to a drive-in movie theater. And at some point there's an attack and they just transform in the front row. And then there's the stoner kid in the very back row. And he's like, whoa, I love these special effects.
It looks so real.
This 3D is awesome.
Like it's popping out of the screen. Literally, an Autobot jumps through the screen.
Right? Oh, that would be great. Whoever's working on the next movie, take note. But we're giving
all
you
these
gold
studios
here.
watch our show. Of course.
all of them. Disney watches our show. I mean, it is what it is. I'm pretty sure Gunn watches our show too, because we were spot on with some of those fan castings, and then what happened a week after our episode comes out, like 3 or 4 of the people we picked on the cast list, like, come on, So
if it was called out by any of us, it was because of us.
It was because of us, exactly. Well, before we get to ratings, I do want to do a Talkin' Nerdy segment. We had a very, very lovely message sent to us, and I have a topic for you guys for this week. So let's roll that intro clip.
Hello, can you hear me?
Each episode, the Bear and the Beard ask a question that they want your input on, along with sharing comments, suggestions, and other things they have already collected. They love to hear from their fans, so let's get nerdy with it.
All right, Talking Nerdy segment for this episode. I already shared this with you two gents, but I want to share it with our viewers, our listeners. We had a very, very sweet message come through to our Facebook from Purple Raven. Purple Raven writes, "Hey guys, Purple Raven here. I don't know if you're still doing Talking Nerdy Time, but I just wanted to say you guys are awesome. Found you guys through Shellheads when you guys did your TMNT episode, and I found them a couple of months ago, and I was randomly looking up TMNT podcasts. I was binge listening to them on Pandora until the TMNT episode, and then I found you guys and have been binge listening to you guys and just listened to the episode on The Matrix from May 28th, 2001. Laugh out loud. And to answer your guys, yes, you guys made it to Pandora since I'm listening to you on Pandora right now. And to answer the question of the episode, what do I listen? What I do while listening? I'm working as a cart pusher and listen to podcasts while working."
Love that.
Purple Raven.
Give me 2021.
2021, probably.
Yeah, okay.
I was about to
I thought I heard 2001. I'm like, 2001, I was in.
I can't, I don't, and
Gordon?
I'm just going to make sure that
Baby.
was messed up. I'm pretty sure I was. No, he actually did type 2001, so he meant 2021. But yeah.
Okay.
So, but yes, Purple Raven, thank you if you've stuck around this long to hear your message read.
2001 till now, that's amazing. That's
Matrix,
a real loyal listener.
Matrix is way back there. Matrix is way back there for
I
us.
love them doing that
So,
episode too.
It was a great episode. We did make it to Pandora. We love that we've made it to Pandora. We're pretty much on all the platforms now. And we thank you for being along for the ride. If you have anything else you want to send us, if you want to be on an episode, just hit us up. Hit us up on the messenger.
Yeah.
And that goes for all of our nerdy fandomites out there. If y'all want to be on an episode that we haven't done yet, or if we're going to rehash any of these, we talked about doing the Disney thing. If you're a huge Disney fan, start sending in your submissions for fan casts of who you want to see cast in certain movies. If we talk about it, we'll definitely bring it up and we'll give you a shout out. Or if you just want to be on the episode, let us know. We might do that one as a live stream though, so we'll see. But that's always out there in the future. And thank you, Purple Raven, for sending that in. And anything else, comments, suggestions, anything like that, leave them on all of our medias, Facebook, send us a message, Instagram, all the things, YouTube, whatever, we'll collect it. We'll put it right here in this segment every episode. For now,
Do we have a talking nerdy topic this week, Bear?
Topic for you guys. I have a talking nerdy topic, and I really, really, really think that this one is going to be an easy one for you guys, but it might be harder for our listeners. So, you are, and for those of you that didn't watch Beast Wars, this first part might not make sense. You're a Cybertronian in the pod. You have crash landed to Earth. What animal are you hoping that the pod scans for you to take form of in your animal form on Earth? You are a Maximal or Predacon, depending on who gets to your pod first. But what animal do you want to be taking the form of when you step out of the pod?
Wolf.
Wolf? Okay.
Dave Filoni. I see you.
Okay, Dave Filoni, I see you.
I see you. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
No, that's great.
Right now felt like the perfect chance to make that joke. Soka is nothing but wolves, and I'm loving it. Okay. Anyway.
All right, Jay, who you got?
Okay. I love elephants, right? And I know that picking an elephant means I'm a Maximal because the Maximals were mammals and birds, and the Predacons were reptiles and insects. But I really do, I do kind of want to be a spider too, or a turtle. I like turtles.
Dude, Tarantula. What was his name?
Well, there was Black Arachnia.
There was Black Arachnia and...
Was it Tarantulas? I don't even know.
It might have been Tarantulas, but yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
Those are good. Those are good.
I like Waspinator. Waspinator was pretty cool.
Waspinator!
I like that Rhinox just screams. Chip was wild.
I think I'm gonna stick true to my name. It's gonna be like a grizzly bear or like a Kodiak bear, just some large bear.
Oh, I see a grizzly. 100%.
Yeah, probably definitely a grizzly. I've been looking at like sun bears a lot too, though. Like, kind of fallen in love with them as a bear. So yeah, let us know what your animal of choice. If you were a Cybertronian in the pod, crash landing to Earth, what animal would you want to take the animal form of? And let us know that in the comment section. Let us know on Facebook, all the places. Here's a little hint of where you can let us know that in the outro.
Be sure to send in your response to this week's Talk Nerdy topic, and any other nerdy stuff like episode topic suggestions, fan theories, or cosplay photos so we can put it in future episodes. If you think it's nerdy, we want you to share it. The Talk Nerdy links like the email and website are in the episode description as always. And don't forget you can also call or text the Nerd line. That number is in the description as well. That's all for now. Let's get back to the show.
And we only got a little show left to get back to. We got ratings. Let's do ratings.
Slide right into those ratings.
Let's slide right into those ratings. So, I want to start this one off. Rise of the Beast as a standalone film gets an easy 9 for me out of 10. As a standalone film, I am literally only taking the 1 point off for the world. Like, they stuck with the trend. If we don't solve this problem, the world's going to end. I'm done with that storyline. I'm so over it.
9 out of 10 air pause is not bad.
It's high praise. It's high praise. I'm biased. I mean, obviously a little bit, but yeah, 9 out of 10. Higher than any other Transformers film. I can say that.
How many Squatch prints does this get, Nerdsquach?
I'm gonna say 8.5.
Okay.
Because I personally would have liked a bit more. We got Cybertron in the first one in Bumblebee, very briefly. And then we got the Earth stuff with Bumblebee and Haley Stanfield. But we didn't really get Earth stuff with the Autobots and the Decepticons before we moved into Beast Wars. And I would have preferred a little bit more focus on the civil war between the Autobots and the Decepticons before we got into the Beast Wars stuff. I understand introducing new plot elements with every sequel, but you could have introduced them in the third one and waited and done the Decepticons have come to Earth after the Autobots to find them and to hunt them down, and maybe Earth has a huge energon deposit and the Decepticons come to Earth, and then done the Beasts in the third one. But, maybe they'll do it in a different order and we get Megatron and the Decepticons in the third one.
Maybe the events of this movie awaken the Decepticons or bring the Decepticon, like Earth, to the Decepticons' attention.
It'd be really dope if Unicron sent Galvatron to Earth. And we
straight over Megatron.
Right. Megatron's already been done, right?
Yeah.
We don't need Megatron again. Galvatron. Exactly.
Because with this being the sequel in a new soft reboot, we got a few glimpses at what Optimus has had to deal with, but we didn't get any confirmation that it was the Decepticons, so they could easily bring that up now.
Yep.
Or if Megatron, they've already done that. He's done.
Maybe the Decepticons are looking for Megatron, and they come to Earth, and then they find out that he's been with Unicron this whole time.
And I love talking about the similarities. I love the fact that Unicron is essentially the Galactus of the Transformers verse, and he needs a herald, and he always has at least one herald, and it's amazing. So they just don't get the power cosmic.
I've heard Fantastic Four has like 3 heralds in it. I can't wait.
Ooh.
Yeah, I can't wait. Yep.
Brian, as the not resident Transformers nerd, as just an independent viewer, also Fandomite, also awesome guy, what do you rate this movie with how many beards?
How many beards do I give? I'm going to give it 9 out of 10. And that point is not for what you think. It's not for the world ending. Yeah, I don't like the fact that the world ending trope's back, but I'm not taking off a point for that. I'm taking off a point for you sidelining my guy B.
Yeah. Dude, just straight up, just disrespectfully by the throat.
That was a hard scene to watch. Like, he just swatted him away like he was a bug.
Right. Well, I mean, you know. But it was all to make room for this guy. You know, it was Mirage and Noah, this movie. So
they carried it. They were a good duo.
They had to carry it. But yeah, and then Bumblebee slid right in back there at the end. So it worked out. It worked out pretty well. Yeah.
Language.
And he got to play some stellar music as we were talking about the soundtrack. Definitely go and check out that soundtrack for sure. It was a great listen. Yeah. So only better soundtrack this year, Guardians 3, but I mean, come on. Gunn knows his soundtracks.
Yeah.
For me.
Turtles got a pretty great soundtrack.
See, I haven't seen Turtles yet.
I haven't seen Turtles yet either.
Yeah.
Turtles got a great soundtrack, man.
I believe it.
Shout out to while we're talking about Turtles, while we're wrapping it up here, shout out to Squatch Talk with Jay. Go and check out his page over there. Just recently sat down with our friend Keith Cooper from Blurtish to talk about that new film that me and Brian have not seen. So definitely go and check out that review. And yeah, man, as far as events and stuff, this weekend, if you're listening to this the day it comes out, come and see me down in Houma, Louisiana at Terrebonne Parish Library Comic-Con. I'll be there with Micah, Sir Orlean himself from Pothole Comics, and we'll be running a table. We got charity stuff. We got pins. I got pins made of the Bearded Bear Entertainment logo that you can come and win, or you can just purchase for a donation, and that's going to help go into our charity fund as well.
Wait to get mine.
Yeah, literally the next weekend after that, we'll be over in Alabama for all you Alabama Fandomites. We will be at Alabama Comic-Con hanging out with Letterkenny and Sons of Anarchy and all of those great actors. And I might finally get to meet Juan Carlo Esposito. I've been to 2 cons that he's at, and I haven't gotten to meet him. I hope I get to meet him.
You know what? I'm going to give them an answer to one of my trivia questions if they're really paying attention since we're talking about him.
Go ahead.
If you're paying attention and you want to play Turtle Mania trivia, Juan Carlo Esposito is the actor that played a villain in a movie recently.
Yes.
Yes,
so
indeed.
Definitely come and check that out. We'll be doing karaoke Saturday morning. We'll be doing our panel Saturday afternoon with Turtle Mania trivia, hosted by Jay himself, and I'll just be the little old scorekeeper. Great prizes for the winners of that. Dude, it's just going to be an all-around great con. Shout out to Little Oso Cosplay for tagging along with us and everybody else that's coming from the team. We also have a new podcast that's going to get announced hopefully the week before that. If we don't get a chance to mention it in the episode, the Non-Dimensional Upside is a show that is being put on by Quan and Tandy. They officially joined the team as of yesterday when we did our staff meeting. So they're hard working, getting their content together. So we hope to have 3 episodes of their show out for you by the time we get to Alabama. So definitely be on the lookout for all of that on the rise. And in the meantime, I think it's time to get out of here, guys. I've been the Bear.
I've been the Beard.
And I've been Nerdsquach.
And we want to remind you, as always, to stay awesome,
stay bearded,
and much love. Until next time, we are out of here.
Oh, that was loud.
Boom, cut the check.
That was totally...
All right, you thought the episode was over, but you're wrong, because we recorded on Jay's birthday. So we're not getting out of here without singing happy birthday to the Nerdsquach himself. So here we go. Brian, in 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nerdsquach. You're so amazing.
Birthday
to you.
Thank you.
And many more.
We look forward to all the years ahead of having Nerdsquach as a friend and a chosen family member here at Bearded Bear Entertainment and just in our personal lives. We love you so much, Jay.
I love
Happy
you guys so
birthday.
much.
And we'll see y'all next episode. We're out of here.
Boom, cut the check.
That was totally wicked!
Thanks for checking out another Bearded Bear Entertainment production. New episodes of this show are released every other Friday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time in both audio and video format. Audio episodes are available pretty much anywhere you get your podcasts, and YouTube is the only place for video format.
For listeners, subscribe on your app so your device downloads it automatically. And for viewers, subscribe and click that little bell so you're notified about all our new nerdy content. Also, don't forget to follow us on our socials.
Facebook,
Instagram, and
TikTok
are all great places to interact with us.
Many thanks to the rest of our team, all of our geeks of the round table, and all of our awesome friends of the cast. Much love, y'all. Lastly, for more cool music like this awesome outro track, go check out HarlequinSoul, Secret Apex on Facebook and Spotify. His links are in the description as well.
Talk at you next episode, nerds.
See you then!